At the foot of the Gubeikou Great Wall lie hundreds of Chinese soldiers who died in the Gubeikou War of Resistance in 1933. Outnumbered and outgunned, they fought to the bitter end.
Chinese troops battle their way into Changte, gateway to the rich rice lands in western Hunan province. 6 weeks before, 8 Japanese divisions had taken the city.
As World War II was approaching its end, U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt convinced the American people victory was within reach if the world stayed united. At the beginning of 1944, the advantage started to shift on the East Asian front. The CPC started to take offensive position against Japan's puppet forces, while the Kuomintang continued to see setbacks in central and southern regions. The CPC's scattered forces were regrouping. In April 1945, Chinese forces went on the offensive. They countered a massive Japanese attack in the central province of Hunan. The Kuomintang forces clashed with the invaders in western Hunan, while the CPC forces conducted guerrilla warfare in central Hunan. Nearly 2 months later, the Japanese were defeated. Over in Europe, Germany surrendered to the Allies in May, at least 2 years after Italy's defeat and eventual surrender in North Africa. Japan was the Allies' last remaining enemy. In August, the U.S. drove Japan back to its own soil in the Pacific theater. 2 atomic bombs followed. The Soviet Union also declared war against Japan and immediately sent troops to northeast China. The end was near for Japan. Its naval and air forces were in defeat, and Allied blockade and bombardment devastated the country and its economy. On July 26, the Allies issued the Potsdam Declaration demanding the unconditional surrender of all Japanese forces. On August 9th, Mao Zedong issued the statement of a final strike, targeting all invaders and their puppets who refused to surrender. Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender on August 15th. The document was signed on September 2nd. The next day was designated by China as a National Memorial Day. Over 14 years of struggle, China lost over 30 million of its people. Over 90% of the deaths in the Asian theater and 1/3 of the total casualties worldwide. The scale of China's resistance destroyed Japan's strategy. At the time of the Pearl Harbor attack, 80% of Japan's troops were in China. The long, brutal war of resistance is a testament to the Chinese nation's unyielding spirit and desire for peace. The heart-wrenching numbers and stories spoke of a people who rose during the darkest of times. Like the Great Wall, weathering the hardships and storms of history, yet still standing today.